All right, so Path of Exile 2 kind of dropped some update news related to like the timeline of what's going on here. Cat's in the way. So let's just, oh, that's the wrong button. Let's just go ahead and do a quick and dirty run through here of what's going on with Path of Exile 2. So they're talking about the 0.4 timeline. If you didn't know, 0.4 is the next update. We're on 0.3, which is the Abyssal League. And they said it's been out for the 3rd month now. So typically we're on 4-month cycles is the way it goes. Now, what do they say? Well, now we're in the 3rd month of the Rise of the Abyssal League and Path of Exile 2. You may be wondering when to expect the next big release. We're on track with our 4-month release schedule, and we're currently planning to launch the 0.4 content update in early December. Reveal the reveal live stream and release date very soon, so keep an eye on the news. The ongoing Rise of the Abyssal League will end in a few weeks. After that, your characters and their items will be migrated to Standard or Hardcore Early Access League. There will not be any wipes, so once migration is complete, you can play your character in the Standard Hardcore Early Access League. We can't wait to show you what we've been working on. Stay tuned. Now, a couple things here. First thing, what have they been working on? We know what they've been working on. They've already said 2 things. Number 1, Druid. I've seen the Druid in person when I was down there. It is pretty fucking awesome. If they nail it, what they were working on, I think you guys are going to love it. I'm not going to do any spoilers or anything, plus I'm not allowed to anyway, but it looks really cool. So if they nail the Druid, 0.4 is going to be, that's going to be a pretty big selling point for 0.4. Number 2, we know that the focus of the 0.4 update is in-game. So 0.3 actually, in a way, sort of added some more in-game because they added more unique maps, etc. They made the whole Atlas tree a little bit more fleshed out. They removed basically the necessity of having to slam towers, and they kind of changed the way juicing worked, which had an effect of bringing down the top end of the loot, but bringing up the floor of the loot and kind of met in the middle, so it's a little bit easier for people to farm that aren't no-life streamers, basically, is what the result of that ended up being. There was some pushback related to the maximum quantity being nerfed, aka the super juicing of the maps, like the real in-game shit has been brought down a little bit. That was all in 0.3 and some of the later updates in 0.3. So what does that mean for 0.4? Well, the 0.3 tower update was sort of a band-aid fix because people just like fucking hate towers, basically, is what it boils down to. So more than likely, I would still see something related to mapping coming to the game and the change in way in which things work. I don't think the whole like putting in the tablet system for the maps currently is a permanent fix. I would assume we're going to see some of that being adjusted. The other part is because of these are the actual final leagues. If you didn't know, 0.3 is the first time we're actually seeing leagues into the game. They said the previous one, Dawn of the Hunt 0.2, wasn't the league. 0.1 was just an economy refresh and some rebalancing, some new gems, etc. So because of that, we should expect the second full league entering for Path of Exile 2. This is going to be in December. What does a full league actually mean? It means we're going to see a league mechanic. For instance, like the Abyss, we're going to see probably, I would assume, some sort of additions to skill gems, support gems, balance-related changes. I would assume Deadeye is going to be getting some looking into with Lightning Arrow and all that. So I would assume a shakeup around that. Typically, balance changes do take a pretty large amount of time from what I've seen. So if I was putting my prediction out, I'd say we'll probably see some balance changes. I don't know if we're going to see like a whole assortment of battle changes. I would more expect to see new additions into the game as opposed to a ton of balance changes. What I like to see personally in terms of new additions, I would love to see new weapons. Now, with 0.4 coming with the Druid, we know that's 100% confirmed because in the Destin interview, which is one of the latest interviews they did, they actually stated the Druid will be in 0.4, typically with the introduction of a class, like we saw with the Huntress, for instance. They are paired with a weapon, warrior with maces is a primary example. Some classes just use like, casting, so wands or something. So there would be a notable example of like, a class can use multiple types of weapon or, types, et cetera, because you have like a cultist and elemental and all that shit, right? But I would expect, especially when you actually look in the game and you look when you cut a skill gem, you have all these different weapons that are there, and one of them is primal. I would expect whatever the primal is, okay, I actually didn't see this when I'm down there. I have no idea about the weapons. This is a guess, okay? I'd expect the primal is tuned with whatever the druid is. And that could either be some sort of weapon, maybe like claws or something, just a random guess here, because we have daggers, which might go with like shadow, maybe claws go with druid or something like that. Or it could just be castables. Either way, it doesn't really matter too much, because if we get new introduction of skills, which we know we're going to because the new class is coming to the game with druid, they're not just going to drop druid and then say go use maces. So with that also will be a shakeup in the meta in terms of balance changes, etc., with the other classes, because obviously those new skills are usable on all classes and can be fine combinations and pairs with other types of classes. So maybe, Blood Mage once again has something crazy with the new druid skills. for instance. So for that reason, even the introduction of Druid, even if you're not interested in the Druid coming in 0.4, is going to be a pretty big shakeup in terms of builds and application throughout the game, even in and of itself with that content coming. Now, we have the in-game changes. Those I'm hoping not only are kind of retuning of like the tablet and the juicing and how that works. I don't know exactly how they're going to address that, to be honest, because I think it's kind of a placeholder as it is currently. I would expect to see probably new in-game pinnacle bosses, hopefully some more mid-tier bosses on the way. You have like the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. They did mention, and I believe it was Talkative Try's interview, in which he mentioned, Jonathan Rogers mentioned that there were more Breach bosses that haven't made it into the game. There were more like these mid-tier type of bosses, and they believe that there's a gulf, was the word he used, in mid-tier content available in Path of Exile 2. So we could see that coming as well in 0.4. That's currently just the update of where we're at in terms of the timeline. I'm just going to throw this out there. From my understanding, they've never released a League in Path of Exile 1 or 2 any later than December 13th. Is historically the latest. Over there in New Zealand, they always take like a Christmas break, and I would assume that they're not going to release it, then go on break immediately. They probably at least want a few days or a week before they go on their Christmas break. So that means it's probably not dropping right next to Christmas, and if they're on break after Christmas and it's coming in December, then it's not dropping the later half of the month because they're on the break. So for that reason, I would expect this to be earlier on in December. The other thing is they say it ends in a few weeks, 3 weeks from now, for instance. I mean, we're in November 10th already, so 3 weeks from now would be right in the beginning, basically going right into the beginning of December, and then they're going to be doing the reveal live streams. Typically, those are a week before. So if I was going to throw my guess out there, I would say maybe on December 6th, for the 1-year anniversary. I believe it launched on the 6th of last year. They do the reveal live stream. Then like the 13th or something, you're seeing the drop. Would be like somewhere around there would be my guess in sort of the timeline of what's coming. Anyway, that's just some quick Path of Exile 2 update for the people that's wondering what's going on with the game currently. I'm currently playing the PoE 1 League. I'll be playing the PoE 2 League extensively as soon as it comes out. And you're welcome to subscribe to this channel if you want to see more PoE 2 news. Been pretty light on the videos coming out currently because I'm just waiting around for the PoE 2 League. I don't really cover PoE 1 in a million different videos, as I'm primarily a PoE 2 YouTube channel, though I am live every day playing multiple games if you want to watch that. That's about it. What's going on? Love you all. Thanks for being here. See you on the next one.